ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to everyone watching at home, and welcome to the second episode of the International Quran Competition. In our first program last week, we explained the rules and regulations of this competition, showed you the draw, etc. But today, we will get to hear 20 recitations of the Holy Quran from our quarterfinalists of Group 1 and 3. Now, accompanying me in the next few weeks are our respected and very, very learned judges from around the world. So joining me here in the studio is Hafiz Sahib. Assalamu alaikum, Hafiz Sahib, to you. I'm also going to go to our judge in Ghana, Hafiz Sharafuddin Sahib. He's joining us from the Wahab Adam Studios in Ghana. Assalamu alaikum, Hafiz Sahib, to you as well.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
And finally, we have Hafiz Atal Wahab Sahib joining us all the way from Canada. Hafiz Wahab Sahib, assalamu alaikum to you, to Canada as well.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Right, so with our respected judges being introduced, we're now going to go straight into listening to the first few recitations. Last week, we announced the verses for Group 1 and 3, and as you can probably see on your screens now, Group 1 was given the verses of Suratul Alaq, my apologies, verses 1 to 6, and Group 3 was given Suratul Layl, verses 1 to 8. Jazakallah for sending us your recordings, and we are going to go through all of these recordings today. The verses have been mentioned, and we're going to start off listening to Group 1, and in the second half of the program, we're then going to listen to the entries from Group 3. Now, our judges will mark each entry as they go along, and we will announce the winners from both groups towards the end of the program, inshallah. Now, without further ado, we're going to listen to Hasbullah Muchtar Sahib from Indonesia. He's the first one in the first group. Let's listen to Hasbullah Muchtar Sahib.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Now that was Mukhtar Sahib from Indonesia, and again, if I was in your seat, Hafiz Sahib, I think I would get sweaty hands already. This was a great start to this competition. What do you think?
It's in fact sweaty.
Okay. What do you think of the first entry?
Good, mashallah. Good, sweet voice.
All right. We're going to go to a little bit more detail at the end of the program, and for some pointers for the competitors that they should keep in mind for the next rounds. Next up, we have Darwis Efendi Sahib. He's also from Indonesia. Let's listen to his recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
Jazakumullah Ahsan Jaza. That was Darwis Efendi Sahib, also from Indonesia. I would like to go to Hafiz Sharafuddin Sahib in Ghana. And Hafiz Sahib, your impression of the first two entries so far, both from Indonesia, had some of a commonality. What do you think?
Jazakumullah ahsan al-jaza. I think, alhamdulillah, both of them, they did very well. I really like their recitation. May Allah bless them, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Hafiz Wahab Sahib in Canada. What are your comments to the first two entries? Of course, I know, as I said in the beginning, just before we listen to the Darwis Sahib's recitation, we will get into the detailed pointers and tips that the judges have to give at the end of the program. But generally speaking, Hafiz, what would you think?
By the grace of Allah, both of them have given us a very good start, and I hope that standard is going to be very good, and they are going to give us a very tough time as the judges.
All right, inshallah. Jazakallah, Hafiz Sahib, Wahab Sahib to Canada as well. Our next contestant is Abdul Rauf Rafiq Sahib. He is from the United States, so from the other side of the planet. We're going to listen to his recitation and then after that ask our judges about that as well. Abdul Rauf Rafiq Sahib from the United States.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Well, that was Abdul Rauf Rafiq Sahib from the United States. It's quite different to the first two entries, isn't it?
Yeah, mashallah, quite sweet and melodious voice. And if we know the translation, then it is quite rhythmical. It's quite good.
Hafiz Wahab Sahib to Canada. If I can ask you as well, I think what Hafiz Fazl Sahib here just mentioned about the translation, it also helps to kind of add a little bit of that intensity and that relationship that you should have with the Holy Qur'an if you know the translation at the same time.
Yes, knowing translation makes a huge difference, and this is the sole purpose behind learning the proper pronunciation of the Holy Qur'an, so that it is presented in such a way that it touches the heart of the people and leaves a very strong impact.
Jazakallah. Hafiz Sharafuddin Sahib, you probably have seen and heard so many recitations, I'm sure all the other two judges have as well, in the different styles that you see from across the globe. Hafiz Sharafuddin Sahib?
The line has break. I didn't hear your last bit.
Okay, so we're going to move on. Hafiz Sahib, I'll come back to you in just a bit. We're going to stay close to the United States, and Tahir Sahib from Canada is our next contestant, and we're going to listen to his recitation. Tahir Sahib from Canada.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
All right, that was Farooq Tahir Sahib from Canada, as you've listened, and because we have a few more contestants to go through from this group, so we're going to go straight to our next contestant. He's from Germany, Anik Shahid Sahib, and we're going to listen to his recitation now. Anik Shahid Sahib from Germany.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Jazakumullah Sanzad. That was Anik Shahid Sahib from Germany. Now we're going to go to the African continent. Hafiz Attaun Naeem Sahib from Burkina Faso has sent us his recitation, and we're going to go to listen to that now. This is Hafiz Attaun Naeem Sahib from Burkina Faso.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
All right, that was Hafiz Attaun Naeem Sahib from Burkina Faso. We're almost done with the first group. Hafiz, 4 more contestants left. But I think by now there's some pointers that probably the judges can give to the contestants. I'm going to keep some for now and some for after we've done with the first group. So Hafiz, please.
Jazakallah. MashaAllah, we have just listened to 5 recitations. Alhamdulillah, everybody has tried his best to with regards to makharij, the exit points, articulation points, and also the application of the rules of tajweed, and also the beautification of the sound. So basically a recitation, a good recitation is a package, and that comes under the umbrella of tartil. Now, the first and the foremost important point is to be mindful of the right articulation points, the later emerging points, and after that, putting that into a flow and make them words and then the verses. And when the letters come into flow, then timing is very, very important. The timing about 1 second, it starts from 1 second to 4-5 seconds elongation. And mashallah, they have tried their best to be in that. But for example, alladhi. Now here, ya is only, a ya sakina, ya with the iskun. And this is, according to the rules, is only 2 seconds. But in order to, if we, elongate, then we are outside the boundary. And definitely, some repetition, it does add the beauty. Because if there is a repetition according to the subject matter, it creates some good impact on the listeners and also the reciter.
Absolutely. Jazakallah Ustad. Hafiz Shaifuddin Sahib in Ghana, the question I was asking you before is that the different pronunciations, the different styles of recitation from different parts of the world, they also add a little bit to that personal touch that the reciters and the competitors give to the recitation and to their recordings as well. How important is that, though? I mean, to have that variety of different kind of melodies, different pronunciation, as long as they are within the frames that Hafiz just mentioned here.
Alhamdulillah, I think that is one of the beauty of the Holy Qur'an. You see, some of us are non-Arabs, and we are able to pronounce the letters and then the words according to how the Arabs, even some of them, cannot pronounce it. So that is Quran, and that is the beauty and one of the miracles of the Holy Quran. You can hear it from different part of the world, but the pronunciation, the recitation, everything is the same. It's just that the melody differ from continent to another. Now,
Jazakallah. Hafiz Attaun Wahab Sahib, in the age groups that we've seen just right now, I was, to be honest, very surprised when I saw the first 2 contestants, because from the voice of it, they don't really sound, they sound quite young, quite eager. I'm sure they are at heart. But it is also one of the beauties of the Holy Qur'an that appeals to every single group of people, every single age of people. And that's what makes it so beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And people who are of higher age, I think they have, if they have been reading Quran properly for a long time, so in certain way they have got an edge because they have a lot more experience, and if they have been practicing a lot, so their control over their voice, I think is going to give them bigger advantage over the youngster one. But the young one, they have also certain sound qualities that are more sometimes appealing to the ear. So I think that so there is age is not going to make any difference. So it's open for people of all ages.
Jazakumullah Asnazat to all of our respected judges. We are going to move on with the list. After 6 contestants, we have 4 more left. There's 1 more from Ghana. Hafiz Abdul Samad Ahmad Boateng Sahib from Ghana has also sent us his recitation. He's part of the first group, and we're going to listen to his recitation. Here is Hafiz Abdul Samad Ahmad Boateng Sahib from Ghana.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
MashaAllah, very, very beautifully recited. Hafiz Abdul Samad Boateng Sahib from Ghana. Moving on to our next group or next area of recitations, and that is from the Middle East. We're going to go to our first brother, Hussam Nakeem Sahib from Syria. He has also sent us his recitation. This is Hussam Nakeem Sahib from Syria.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
That was Hussam Nakeem Sahib, also from Syria. Our next contestant is also from Syria, Tahir Ahmed Alburaki Sahib. And we're going to listen to his recitation now. Tahir Ahmed Alburaki Sahib from Syria.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Jazakumullah Sanza. Tahir Ahmed Alburaki Sahib. Hafiz Ehtisham Ahmed Khaja Sahib from Germany is going to be our last contestant for this group, and then we're going to move on to the second. So this is Hafiz Ehtisham Ahmed Khaja Sahib from Germany.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Hafiz Ehtisham Ahmed Khaja Sahib from Germany, beautifully recited there as well. And that concludes the first group. I'm not sure how you feel at home, but every time one recitation finished, I thought it couldn't get any better, but then I was proven wrong. Hafiz Sahib, isn't that the case? I'm going to come to you in a bit as well, but I will go to Hafiz al-Wahab Sahib first to Canada. Hafiz Sahib, I would like to ask you, because some of the contestants, they have repeated verses again, meaning they've done one verse and then the second, and then they've done the first and the second together. What's the reason behind it, and is that something that maybe gives them some extra bonus points?
No, I don't think that they are going to get some extra bonus point unless if in order to get a better flow and to change the style, they start from the previous verse, and because we have given them very small portion of the Holy Qur'an, and also the time slot is very short, so it's a big challenge for them. So sometimes in order to express the variety of their sound and melody, so they have to start from the previous verse and continue on. So I don't see that there is anything wrong for this, and or it's going to add any benefit to them as long as they follow the rules of Tajweed.
Jazakallah. Hafiz Shafuddin Sahib, so what will give them some extra points? I mean, we've spoken to Hafiz Sahib here in the studio, some of the points about this group specifically when it comes to the recitation, some of the common mistakes, some of the things that you should take care of. What is it that you can tell us about that?
Okay, Jazakumullah Ahsanul Jaza. Generally, I would say everybody has done his best. We can say they all did well. It's just there are two things that I want to draw our attention on it, those contestants and those in their homes. When you are reciting the Holy Qur'an, there is a rule in prolonging al-mudud. It's very, very, very important. When they ask Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas, how is the Holy Prophet ﷺ is reciting the Holy Qur'an, he says, Yamudduhu maddan. He prolong where he's supposed to prolong it accordingly. There is a particular mad which is called maddu tabi'i. It's a common mad. That maddu tabi'i, you can't prolong it more than 2 letters. You can't prolong it more than 2 seconds. For instance, Bismillahi, Bismillahi. The Allah, the lafzul jalala, Allah and the ha. You can't prolong Allah more than Bismillah. You say, for instance, some of our contestants, Bismillah is not correct. For instance, also, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. It is maddu tabi'i. You don't have to prolong it more than 2 seconds. You don't have to say Ar-Rahman, no. Or A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Minash Shaitan, to prolong it more than 2 seconds. It is wrong. I think we should take note of that. Number 2 of the mudud is Maddul Arid Lissukun. Maddul Arid Lissukun is when you are stopping on it, you have to prolong it 4 seconds or 5 seconds, depending on the riwayah you are following. But we are reciting it on riwayat Hafs, that is 4 or 5. But if you are doing it, it must be consistent. You don't prolong, for instance, you won't say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim 4 seconds. And then the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you prolong it like 7-8 seconds. It's not acceptable in the rule of tartil. I think because of time, this is what I realized in the station.
Yeah.
Now.
Jazakallah, Hafiz Jamaludin Sahib to Ghana. There's a lot more time. We have a few more weeks to get through all of the rules. Hafiz Sahib, in these verses that the contestants have recited, Surah Al-Alaq, what are some of the common things that for the average reader, someone who's probably not that familiar with the exact rules and regulations, some of the main things that they should probably keep in mind? Because one purpose of all the programs of MTA is also to educate the viewers at home.
Yes, Raza Sahib, this is basically the verses. Verses are very significant and important in the history of Islam. Yes. You see, there are 6,348 verses starting from Basmala, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, up to Minal Jinnati wan Nas. These the first 5 verses, ever human ear listened to, and those holy ears was the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And short verses, and the 5 verses were revealed, and that were memorized first. And any verse, either a small or medium or long, important point is to maintain the breath. When we start a 5 words or 6 words or any a portion of a verse, to the end there should be a continuity of the breath. There is no harm to repeat some verses. You can, like for example here in this in Surah Al-Alaq, but it is not permissible to take breath in between. For example, Allama al-insana, and the person, if he's reciting from the 2-3 verses adding together, and allamal, and take new breath, and then al-insan, il-insan, allamal insan. So the whole beauty, the continuity is compromised. So this is one of the important point. And with regards to other similar sounding letters are very, very important, especially those. This is also a challenge for the Arabic people, the native people as well, but more than as compared to others, to non-native speakers, this is the big challenge, because in other countries we do not make a difference, even if we are speaking in English, so we can't make any difference between K and Q sound, or in Urdu or others. So similar sounding. We
will get through those as well. I think we're going to start with you here. Now, moving on, because time is short, more than half of the time of the program has passed. Moving on to group number 3. Our first 2 contestants are from Indonesia again. Zainol Imran Sahib from Indonesia and Encep Jamaludin Sahib. We're going to listen to those 2. First, let's start with Zainol Imran Sahib from Indonesia. Here we go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى
That was Zainol Imran Sahib from Indonesia. Jazakallah to Zainol Imran Sahib. Encep Jamaludin Sahib from Indonesia is our second contestant for group number 3. Let's have a listen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakallah to our brother from Indonesia, Encep Jamaludin Sahib. Moving on to Canada, Razaur Rahman Dar Sahib's recitation will be played next. He is from Canada. Let's listen to his recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
So, as you have been listening, Group 3 is reciting the verses from Surah Al-Layl. That was just Razaur Rahman Dar Sahib from Canada. Moving on to the United States, Adnan Malik Sahib's recitation. We will listen to that one next. This is Adnan Malik Sahib from the United States.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Very beautifully recited by Adnan Malik Sahib from the United States. Moving on to Nigeria, Ridwan Kehinde Moshood Sahib is our next contestant. He's from Nigeria. Let's have a listen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakumullah to Ridwan Kehinde Moshood Sahib from Nigeria. Very, very beautiful, mashallah. So far, all of them. There's, at least I have nothing to say, Hafsa. I'll let the talking go over to you, please.
Yeah, mashallah, alhamdulillah, they are reciting very well, alhamdulillah. As it was mentioned in the earlier, that timing is very, very important. So, for example, here in Surah Al-Layl, every verse is ending on alif maksura, a blank ya, and on before that there is on vertical fatha on that. So rule is that there's only about 2 counts or 2.5 seconds, I would say, not more, And on that, on some alif maksura here, for example, it was wal untha. On top of that, there is a thin mud, a sign, a curvy sign that is called al-mad al-munfasil. That will only be activated when it is joined to the next. Otherwise, it will be there. Yeah. So that was one of them. And otherwise, it was mashallah good.
All right, perfect. Jazakumullah Sahib. Hafiz Usman Yeboah Sahib from Ghana is our next contestant. We're going to listen to him. And our next brother is going to be from the UK. But now, Hafiz Usman Yeboah Sahib from Ghana, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakumullah to Hafiz Usman Yeboah Sahib from Ghana. Coming to the European countries, our first entry is from the UK. Osama Syam Sahib from the United Kingdom has sent us his recording. Here's Osama Syam Sahib.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakallah Osama Syam Sahib. Moving on to the Netherlands, we have Hafiz Muzaffar Ahmad Zafar Sahib. Here we go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Hafiz Mustafa Ahmad Zafar Sahib from the Netherlands, that was his recording. Moving on to the Middle Eastern countries, Mahmoud Al-Sabbagh Sahib from Lebanon is going to recite his tilawat next. Here we go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakumullah Mahmoud Al-Sabbagh Sahib from Lebanon, and our last contestant for Group 3 is Muhammad Haiba Sahib from Egypt. Please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى.
Jazakumullah Ahsan. To all of our contestants, what a wonderful first program that was. We're going to take a look at this after the short break coming up next. Our teams from around the world, as we said in the first program as well, they have produced some small videos on the Holy Qur'an. This week we will head over to Nigeria and take a look what they have produced for us.
قد خصك الرحمن بحبه وقربه والفضل والإحسان فافهم كلام الله والحق بأهل الله تلقى نعيما طيبا.
Alhamdulillah, MTA Muslim Jamaat Nigeria is providing Yassan al-Quran and the Holy Qur'an to not only Ahmadis, even non-Ahmadis. And that is the reason that Yassan al-Quran, the average printing of Yassan al-Quran in this press by Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Nigeria is 20 to 25,000 annually.
أفهم كلام الله والحق بأهل الله تلقى نعيما طيبا والروح والريحان.
You know, some of the peoples, they are unable to identify some Arafis in Quran. But the reading of the Dasarina has also helped them a lot for them to identify each Arafi, which is maybe Fatiha, whatever. Then in the spellings of Quran, they are able to. It helped them a lot to read the Quran fluently. So, alhamdulillah for that.
It helps me to recite the Quran fluently, and it encouraged me in some. It encouraged me in some Arabic that I don't know, and that's better than before. It helps me in some Arabic that I don't know.
I can read the Al-Quran fluently through the Yazarina Al-Quran. Alhamdulillah, today I can read the Quran better than before.
وقربه والفضل والإحسان فافهم كلام الله والحق بأهل الله تلقى نعيما طيبا والروح والريحان.
All right, Jazakumullah Sanza. That was a short piece from our studios in Nigeria. Now the winners are going to be announced. We literally have 1 minute left to the program. So Hafsab and to our judges around the world, I do apologize. We will have a little bit more time in the next program, inshallah. Now the winners of Group 1 are Hafiz Attaun Naeem Sahib from Burkina Faso and Hafiz Abdul Samad Sahib Boateng from Ghana. Congratulations to both of you, gentlemen. And the third one, actually, we're going to get to the third one. I don't have it in front of me, I do apologize. But we will, Hossan Nakib Sahib from Syria. There you have it, he's on your screen. And also the group winners of group number 3, Ridwan Kehinde Moshood Sahib from Nigeria is the first one. And the second one is Hafiz Usman Yeboah Sahib from Ghana. And the third one is Zainol Imron Sahib from Indonesia. So congratulations to all 6 brothers. You will move on to the next round. Now, inshallah, next week at the same time, we will be back with you here on MTA International, and we will listen to groups, to the next 2 groups, and these are Group 2 and Group 4. And the verses that we have decided for them are going to be, as you can see on your screens as well right now. The group number 2 will recite from Surah Duha, verses 1 to 6, and group 4 will recite from Surah Al-Infitar, verses 1 to 6. Please do make sure that you send us your recording. By Wednesday, our team will inshallah be in touch with you as well. Jazakallah to all of you for listening in. As I said, inshallah, next week we'll see each other again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله